Now, I want to tell you a story before we meet our next guest. Saturday night, Nigel No Mate sitting at home, sort of not particularly great Wellington night. No sport on TV, no All Blacks to watch, and I've been through the movies and there was nothing I want to see. I'm too tight to pay and see Oppenheimer before it comes out on Netflix. I'm not interested in Barbie and nothing else. No other movie grabs me at all. So I think, and I do like a good play. I do like the theatre, but like I suspect many of you, I don't think about it enough to go enough, and I should go more. So I look and see what's on at the theatre in Wellington, and there was a show called Public Service Announcement. Catchy title, isn't it? And I've heard about this show before because every election, every 3 years, this show comes up and it's a kind of satirical take. I'd never been to one on politics, and it's like a review stage show. And I thought, that looks like fun. I could do with that. So I go along. First nice thing that happens, my mum, dear old mum, Mirren, and my sister are there. So I bump into them there, which is a nice happen chance. And then I go and sit in the theatre, and Public Service Announcement, the show begins. And then just before halftime, who should pop up being satirised in the most cruel way on stage but Sean Plunket? And I've never been to a play before that I've been satirised in. Oh, actually, I have, actually. But I thought that was quite fun, and I had a chuckle. So, look, a great night was had by all. And I hung around afterwards like a stage door Johnny, and I got to meet the people. I got to meet the people involved. And we just lost her off the line, but we're going to get her back right now. One of the people involved in acting in and performing a Public Service Announcement, which I thoroughly recommend, was a young woman called Anya Tate-Manning. And Anya is on the line now. Anya, lovely to talk to you again. I know you had yesterday off, I think.
Hi, Sean. Yes, we did.
First of all, I just want to say well done. Thank you. I'm kind of kicking myself for not having gone to see previous Public Service Announcement shows. First off, just explain for people who haven't been what the show is, what the concept of the show is.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, it's political satire. It's very silly. We try and make fun of everyone and have a good laugh, basically.
Yeah, it was very, very funny. And I told you, I think, on Saturday night, I went along expecting a very woke, identitarian, transgender, non-binary, save the planet, hemp kind of production. But you are absolutely not discriminating against who you poke the borax. Everyone gets it, don't they?
Yeah, we do try. It's not always easy, but we try and. The idea is that we're punching up, as we say in comedy, and that means we're making fun of anyone that is more powerful than us, which is politicians, basically.
Oh, and me. And John Campbell.
Yes. So that as long as the punching direction is upwards at power and people in positions of privilege, then it's a kind of it can be a kind of safe zone in terms of comedy, because it's looking at power structures, and comedy can be used to kind of unveil the structures and people in power in a positive way. I think that it's not personal. It's about what people are doing and what they stand for, and the politics around them. Yeah.
And I think you do that well in a time of very polarised politics, where people can be very nasty, and certain people are always looking for an excuse to take things personally and be injured and offended. There's a kind of nice spirit about the production that I think infected the audience. But that didn't make you afraid to go certain places. And I mean, the characterisation of the Maori Party with them screaming racist every time they heard something they didn't like. The audience got that. And look, a lot of people would say that's very edgy. That's grounds for cancellation in some parts of social media. Oh,
yes, I can completely understand that. And it is a little scary, because we are there are bits in the show that are a little edgy. We have 3 writers on the show who are really brilliant. Jamie McCaskill, Johanna Cosgrove and Tom Adams. And Jamie McCaskill is an amazing satirist and writer and performer. And his group, the Māori Sidesteps, are sort of on the edge of satire as well, and are really, really clever. So he wrote the Te Pāti Māori scenes, and so he was really doing something deliberate in that we're treating an edge there of like, what can we say and do, and who are we saying it for, and why are we saying it? So we consider it all quite carefully, but then the performance itself has to be sort of fearless in a way to see if it'll work and to see if it's funny, yeah.
How long has this, if you like, election review been going? How many election cycles?
So we started in 2011, so I think this is our 5th cycle.
Yeah.
And this is our 18th show. So in the beginning, we used to make a lot of shows. I think in the first year we did 4, and then after that, a lot of years we would make 2 shows, maybe a Christmas show or an election show if it was an election year. And now we've slowed down a bit, and the last one we did was 3 years ago. So election time is often the best time to make this type of work because there's so much going on and so much material around.
Yeah, I think I also think what I got and reflected on Sunday, having seen the show, just what a dearth of good satire there is in New Zealand at the moment because of how serious, because of how polarised politics has become. People are almost afraid to take the mickey, and that's what I think was, for me, personally, just so refreshing about the show that I saw on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a bit scary sometimes for us, but we want to push at power structures and people in power just a little, so we kind of have to try to be unafraid and be a little risky in what we're doing. Without our intention is never to hurt anyone, of course.
I was so bloody offended. I went back. I had to get counselling. Look, the other thing that struck me too, it might be seen as a very Wellington thing. Wellingtonians, or a lot of them public servants inside the Beltway, probably more sensitive to politics or the nuances of politics than others, not saying that's a good thing. You've been running for a couple of weeks. Have you had generally full houses? You've got a couple more weeks to run, but only in Wellington.
Yeah, just in Wellington. We haven't taken the show outside of Wellington yet. I think I'd really like to try and see how it goes. We definitely we've always made it with public servants in mind. And it's also one of the reasons for being a sort of non-partisan comedy work is that then ideally anyone can enjoy it if they have wherever in the political spectrum they sit, and also whatever their knowledge of politics are. If they're really working in the bowels of the beehive, or if they're a student at uni who maybe doesn't know much about politics yet, we try and make a show that is entertaining for everyone. Yeah.
And Anya, you're also updating the show because we're in that season and stuff is just rolling out all the time. How often do you rework the script? Like, is it a daily thing that you might throw a new line in?
Yeah, so we meet every day before the show and we check, like, is there anything we need to add in? Is there anything we want to take out? And we make little additions and edits. And if anything major happens, like if anyone would resign or anything like that, then we do a big reshuffle and change characters around. But we've been lucky so far in our season of the last 2 weeks.
Well, I got to say, I watched the first stuff. Have they missed the Winston boat? Do they know that Winston's coming back? Then you had this great scene of him. God, that was fun. Sorry, I'm laughing. I don't want to give the show away, but that was great, and it was very on point. You know, it was like it had been written just the day before.
Yeah, well, the very first season, Winston hadn't been in power for a wee while, and we put in the show that he was going to come back. This was in 2011. That he'd come back at 7%, and everyone was laughing. Oh, that's ridiculous! And then that's what happened. So I think we've learned there's something with Winston where you can never quite count him out.
Oh, it's like
and
magic.
we're going,
it's like
do
dark,
we put him in?
Dark magic.
Dark magic. There's something magical about him.
But like, I'll be honest, you work in Star Wars references there. It is just bloody funny. Someone has sent me a text, a couple of people sent me a text, where's Marama's mystery motorbike? That you should build that into the show. The mystery motorcyclist who seems to hit people and cause...
okay, all right.
Just an idea, just an idea.
Great, love it.
There are only 6 of you playing a whole lot of characters, and there's that wonderful madcap energy to the show, and it doesn't have to be perfect because it is kind of reviewing. But boy, you guys work hard on stage, and I hate to think what's going on backstage.
Well, we've got an incredible stage manager who has also performed in the previous shows a million times, who is helping us with our costume changes. So we go back and sometimes we have maybe 5 seconds to change our wig and our jacket. But once you've done it a few times, it's sort of like a little dance. So we all whiz backstage, change in a few seconds, and then come straight back on. And it's definitely busy and hard work, but it's a lot of fun. So I think we just push through on the nights when we're a bit tired, and the energy from the audience that we get and the laughter just always bolsters us as well, because it's a wonderful. Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest, you had me clutching my sides and bent over at times, and people around me were as well. Anya, did you get any government funding? Did you get a New Zealand On Air grant or something to make this piece, or is it all you're just doing it?
Well, we were lucky enough to be given a season at Circus, so they have some funding that they give to the shows there. So we had a little bit of money from them, and then which I think comes from CNZ and some other sources, and then the rest of our money is made up from ticket sales.
Yeah,
so that's where our income really comes from. So we're on the skin of our teeth, but it's often the way.
Well, I think it's bloody, I got to say, I think it is bloody good. It's one of the best theatre experiences I've had in a long time, especially if you're vaguely interested in politics. So how do people get to go? How do they book? And how long are you on for?
You can find the show on Circa's website, which is just circa.co.nz, or you can just bowl up to the theatre and they'll have tickets available on the door. We're on 6 nights a week from Tuesdays to Sundays, and we've got 2 weeks left. Yeah.
2 weeks left. I'd like to see you extend and keep going right up to the election, to be honest, Anya. Look, the other thing is it is really a fun night out. You said to me I was the first person in being satirised in the show had been to the show. I'm sort of recommending to other people I know in politics that they should go along if they're in Wellington this week and have some fun.
And we know it's a very busy time for politicians, of course, but we always hope that they will come, and we welcome anyone from any party, of course. Last time we did have Nicola Willis and Chris Bishop come along.
Yeah.
We've had the Greens come along. I mean, I understand they're probably a little bit busy this time of year, but they're always welcome.
It's 2 hours well spent, and I think you get a lot of energy out of it. Anya, have you had anyone and as I said, we live in a polarised time where people are more than happy to be nasty to each other and try and cancel each other. Have you had any blowback from audience members or from anyone? Because as I said, I think you ride the edge really well. But has anyone taken offence?
I mean, it's definitely possible, and I might just not have heard it yet.
Yeah.
We do have Circa has a thing with the tickets where they send you a sort of survey afterwards, and we get all the written feedback. So anyone is welcome to give us any kind of feedback, and we do read it all at the end as well. Like
because you were arty farts, I thought it was going to be woke, and it just so wasn't.
Yes, I've been thinking about how you said that, and I'm not entirely sure if it's a compliment.
I'm not sure it is either. It doesn't have to be. But look, I just do so thoroughly recommend it, and there was nothing like a live show. And what I liked about it too, as I said, it wasn't perfect. You, at some stages, were improving. Something goes wrong, everyone goes with it. It's all part of the energy of a show like that, isn't it?
Yeah, always. Like, theatre is a live medium, which is what I love about it. And so if something goes wrong, and or we had one like the sound stopped working mysteriously in the middle of the show. So we just talked to the operator who's sitting above the audience, and they talk back to us and tell us what's going on. And there's a magic of liveness that anything could go wrong essentially at any point, and that we're all in it together with the audience. I think that's the real magic of it. Yeah.
Well, Anya, I'd like to see you guys and the collective you have doing more in political satire in this country. I think we don't have enough of it, and it's nice to see the art is not dead.
Oh, thank you so much. I agree. It's a form that I really love, and I really think has a lot of power and ability to bring people together in a positive way. Yeah.
Good on you. Thanks for your time this morning. Break a leg.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Cheers. Anya Tate-Manning, one of the authors and performers of Public Service Announcement, along for the Tuesday through Saturday or through Sundays at Circa Theatre or circatheatre.co.nz. You'll find it. 2 hours review, political satire review, bloody funny. All I'm going to say is bloody funny, not woke, bloody funny, bit edgy, take some friends. I'd say a great thing to take your workmates to, particularly if you're public servants in Wellington. You'd have a laugh. I'm thinking about taking Ben and maybe Rubes and Ryan and everyone here at the platform along for a bit of a laugh. So I cannot recommend it strongly enough. Public service announcement at Circa, and I'm getting texts. Oh, can they bring the show to Palmy? Oh, come on, let's not destroy them on their first on the road trip. Aaron says, can you please bring the show down to Christchurch? Tory Whanau apparently was in the audience, and there's a Tory Whanau vote. And look, here's an idea. They have a Kiri Allen joke. I mean, it's very contemporary. Sean, don't worry, there will be tons of political satire once the left has left government. Mary says, I will definitely go. And if you do go, or you have been to the show, I'd love to hear from you. What did you think of it? Sean, did they say they're bringing the show to the provinces? No, Melissa. It's Wellington only at the moment. But I think, geez, it'd be nice to see them go on the road next time. Sean, that show sounds awesome. Would love to see it in Wanganui. Well, why not come down to Welly for a night and see it? Okay, Wanganui to Wellington, you could drive that. Get a nice hotel or a B&B and watch it. Sean, are there any Nazis in the show? Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you. There are Nazi-type references, but it's all done in the worst possible taste. It really, really is.